What is up, you sexy beasts? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. Welcome to another video. My name is Wykie. One second. Can you... Oh, it's my wife. I was going to say can you piss off, but can't say that to my wife. She says I need wine. It's Friday here. Just had a long week. I'll go pick up some wine soon. I hope you guys are doing fantastically well wherever you are in the wide world. Hey, welcome to another video, and if you're here for the first time, or in fact if you've been here for a while and you enjoy the content whatsoever, do me a massive solid, a massive favor, and just check and see if you're subscribed. That will help me so much. I put a lot of effort into these videos and I really want to see this channel continue to move forwards, so please do me that favor, just check if you're subscribed and do that for me if you're not. That right there is my man Brandon Swanee, and that is him doing a big fist pump as he wins his second Torium Pro in a row. So this year, Swanee's actually going for a three-peat, and I'm going to catch up with him tomorrow at the stadium and actually have a chat about the three-peat and what that means to him. So that is exciting. Hey, just quickly, thank you so much for all the great feedback and the DMs on yesterday's video or 2 days ago's video. It was overwhelming, to be honest, and I don't think I've got back to everyone yet. I will try my best to do that. And it's a topic I'd love to discuss more, but I really want to keep this channel to fitness and CrossFit. So I've actually thought about maybe starting a second channel and discussing some more kind of maybe men's health type of stuff. So if that's something you're interested in or you think could be cool, then yeah, let me know. Maybe I'll consider doing that. But for today's video, I wanted to discuss the semi-finals. It can be quite confusing when you look at all these things coming out about last chance qualifiers and catch-all qualifiers and tiers going here and tiers going there. So I just wanted to try and just simplify things a little bit, shed some light, and just have a quick chat about the semis. Now, CrossFit has released all of the names and where they've kind of placed the athletes on these semi-final lists. And when you look at these lists, some of them can seem quite stacked. Like you go, oh my gosh, there's a lot of great names on there and someone's going to miss out and not go to the games. So I think it's important to understand how many athletes from each semi-final actually qualifies for the games. And if you know that, it makes a bit more sense. So for all 4 of the North American semi-finals, 5 men and 5 ladies will qualify from each of those. So that is 20 men and 20 ladies in total from North America. Now the total field will be 40 men and 40 women. So exactly half of the athletes will come from the North American semi-final events. So that is the Granite Games, the Atlas Games, the North Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, and the West Coast Classic. So when you scroll through those names on Instagram, through those lists, just keep in mind that 5 men will go through from each of those, and also 5 ladies. And if you look at that, then, you know, the big names should be okay. And even if some big names miss out on those top 5 spots in North America, every single semi-final event will have 3 athletes go to the last chance qualifier. So in North America, if you finish in 6th, 7th, or 8th place, you go ahead and compete again at another online competition called the Last Chance Qualifier. So at that Last Chance Qualifier, 2 more athletes on the male side and 2 more athletes on the female side will go to the games. To be honest, that Last Chance Qualifier is going to be pretty gnarly. Some awesome athletes will be there, and only 2 will go ahead to the CrossFit Games. But let's be honest, the biggest talking point here is Tia-Clair Toomey. She's not on the Torium Pro list, so I'm going to assume that Tia's made the decision that she won't be coming over to Australia, which is a real bummer for us. I was looking forward to seeing Tia and getting some great video and photo of her. But she's been placed on the Atlas Games virtual event list here, and she's got an asterisk next to her name. And I believe the reason she's got the asterisk next to her name is that there might be a chance that she could actually compete in person at the Mid Atlantic CrossFit Challenge in Knoxville. CrossFit released this statement saying that if an athlete was not able to travel to their respective semi-final in Africa or Oceania, that these athletes will be placed in online events and may have the opportunity to compete at a live event close to their physical locations. And Knoxville is not too far away from where Tia is, so there is a chance we might see her compete in person. I would love to see that in Knoxville at the Mid Atlantic rather than the virtual Atlas Games. Now, I can understand that the athletes that are on the list for the Atlas Games, or perhaps the Mid Atlantic, if she's going to compete there, the ladies there might not be too stoked on her coming because she's taking another spot, right? And yeah, she is. But CrossFit's also adding an additional last chance qualifier spot for the region or for the semi that she'll be taking part in. So let's use the Atlas Games as an example. Let's say Tia competes there and we assume she wins it, which she probably will. If you're the person who comes 9th at the Atlas Games, you'll be pretty annoyed since the first 5 qualify and the next 3 gets a chance in the last chance qualifier. So up until 8th place, you're still in the running. But if you come in 9th place, you're not. Well, CrossFit has now extended an additional spot for the last chance qualifier. So the 9th place finisher at that semi will still get a chance at the last chance qualifier. So that's great news for the 9th place finisher, but not so much for the 6th place finisher. They'll be pretty disappointed that they missed out on that direct qualification through the semi, and now they have to do the last chance. But you know what? You can't please everyone, and the reality is Tia still has to earn her spot. She still has to do the workouts and beat the ladies, and it's just the way it is. I'm not going to bore you by going through all these semi-final lists. You can go and scroll through them and have a look and see who's where. But I do think it's interesting and helpful to know how many people qualify from each event. So again, for the 4 semi-finals in North America, there's going to be 5 males and 5 females. That's the same for the 2 semis in Europe. Europe will also qualify 5 men and 5 ladies from each of their semis. Then here in Oceania, we'll be doing 3. So we'll be qualifying 3 male, 3 female. South America and Asia will qualify 2 athletes, so 2 men, 2 women from theirs. And poor old Africa will disqualify 1 male and 1 female. I actually want to commend CrossFit for making these changes so quickly and communicating them so well. It must be extremely hard to know who's going to qualify and then who's not going to be able to make it to their semi. So I think they've done a good job here at distributing the athletes and placing athletes in different semis. And they actually got rid of the catch-all qualifier. So if you're not aware, as well as the last chance qualifier, there was also something called the catch-all qualifier, which were for athletes who couldn't make it to their semis. Now, they've been able to place all these athletes in other semi-final events, and they're all allocated now, so they've actually got rid of the catch-all, which is great, because I think there's enough online competitions going on, and it's really hard to keep a track of. So, look, the best of the best will get through to the games, and that's the main thing. As harsh as it might sound, that's the goal here. The goal is to get the fittest of the fittest through, and so if you narrowly miss out, you gotta just make sure that next year you're well inside, you know? You're well inside that top 5 or top 3, whatever the region's numbers are. But what do you guys think? Do you like what they've done here? Do you think there's a good mix of athletes in every area? And also, really interesting thought, what do you think the virtual events are going to look like compared to the in-person events? Because obviously the in-person events like Torium Pro, they can go out and do swims and runs and all sorts of different things to test these athletes. Whereas with a virtual event, do you think they're going to look similar to the Open and the Quarters, or do you reckon they'll get a bit more adventurous with the virtual events? As far as I'm aware, the events themselves, the event organizers, are still in charge of programming, and then CrossFit just signs that off. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the virtual events are programmed compared to a in-person competition, because there are people that just aren't great at online competition, but they thrive at in-person competition. I would say the 2 Canadian boys, Pat Vellner and Brent Fikowski, are classic examples of athletes who just thrive at in-person competition when you throw more variety at them, you know? And perhaps, like, especially Fikowski, maybe not that great at online competitions that are pretty limited in the test. So what do you guys think? What are the virtual events going to look like? And who are the athletes that you reckon may be at a disadvantage or may not even qualify because their event is virtual and not in person? That's definitely a worry for me. Some of my favorite athletes I know are not that great at online competition. So it's a shame that everyone can't be in person. But what are you going to do? It's just the time we live in at the moment. Hopefully 2022 will be completely back to normal. Anyway, guys, I feel like this video is getting very long. I love you heaps. Make sure you subscribe. Stay sexy. Keep roaring love. And I'll see you soon.